Are there some bad habits that have been holding you back on your guitar playing journey? Today, we're going to be tackling 5 bad habits that you need to break right now. First up, your timing. One of the biggest mistakes that I see beginner and intermediate guitarists doing is skipping their practice with the metronome altogether, let alone not being able to follow the metronome. It is so important to learn how to use a metronome and then incorporate it into your daily practice. This is going to work on your timing, it's going to ensure that your speed is consistent, and you're going to see substantial progress if you're increasing your BPM every single day while you're playing along to it. So here's how you can learn how to work with a metronome and improve your timing. First off, you can download a metronome app on your phone, or you can even go on Google and search up metronome and you'll have one that pops up on screen. So what we're gonna do is set our metronome to 70 beats per minute. Now I'm gonna go ahead and play this. And what I want us to do is play our open high E string to every single click. So we have 1 note per click, and these are gonna be quarter notes. I want you to make sure that these are all in time and they're consistent. Then after that, I want us to play 1/8 notes. We're gonna go in and do 2 notes for every click. Again, make sure you could feel that rhythm and that you're consistently on every click. Now, the next thing that I want you to do is play 16th notes. So we're actually gonna go in and double those 1/8 notes. We're gonna play 4 notes per click. Now, this is a little bit more difficult, so take your time with it and start out slowly, but it's gonna sound something like this. Now, work with this exercise. I recommend starting at either 70 to 75 beats per minute and gradually increasing the speed once you feel comfortable at that particular BPM. This is going to significantly help your timing as well as help you get the timing of other pieces that you want to be able to play. Now, once you can use that metronome and go on and play songs or exercises that you want, it's going to be a complete game changer. Now, here's our second bad habit. This one has to do with your fretting hand. So when we fret, so many times I see guitarists' fingers flying so far away from the fretboard when they're playing. It just looks so tiring, and trust me, I've been there myself, and it's something that I had to go in and fix. By having your fingers fly so away from the fretboard, it slows you down and it wears you out much faster. And we definitely want to see controlled, relaxed movements. So here's an exercise that's going to help you with that. We're actually going to use our classic spider exercise for this one. I'm sure you guys all know it. We're going to start out on the 5th fret of the low E and play that with our first finger. And then on the 6th fret of the low E, we're playing that with our second. And then with the 7th, we're going to use our 3rd finger. And then our pinky is going to be on the 8th. Then we're going to do the same thing on the A. And right here on the D. And then up the other strings. Now with this exercise, instead of lifting up all my fingers like that, what I'm going to do is only move the finger off the string that needs to go to the next fret. So I'll show you. Once I've gotten all the way to the 8th fret on the low E, I'm going to pick up my first finger and move it to the 5th fret of the A string. But I'm going to keep all my other fingers planted in place. Now I'm going to go on and move my second finger to the 6th fret of the A. If you notice, my first finger didn't move and all my other fingers on the low E didn't move. Then I'm going to move my 3rd finger to the 7th of the A, and then my pinky to the 8th, and my other fingers didn't move. Now we're going to continue this all the way up the fretboard. This is going to force us to make really small finger movements and get all those flying fingers under control, as well as work on your dexterity. Definitely use a metronome along to this exercise. That's where you're going to see the greatest amount of improvement. Bad habit number 3. Let's talk about your picking hand now. When you're picking, we don't want to see very large picking motions. This is going to tire us out and cause unwanted string noise. We also don't want to see a tense hand. This is going to make you really tired really fast and also cause pain if you're not too careful with it. Instead, I want you to keep your picking motions controlled, relaxed, and small, just like this. Something that helps me is only letting a little bit of my pick stick out past my thumb. This gives me more control when I'm playing. Tremolo picking is a great exercise to work on your picking hand. We're going to go in and do a series of up and down strokes, one after the other, and it's going to sound something like this. Just like that example that I gave you before. We're going to focus on keeping our hand relaxed and keeping that picking motion tight and small. I like you to do this along with a metronome because you can get some timing practice in there as well as focusing on your picking hand. Bad habit number 4, never changing your thumb position. A lot of the times when I see guitarists play, they'll do something like this. That didn't sound very good, did it? Now, if you notice, my thumb was either at the top of my neck or almost wrapped around the neck the whole time I was playing that scale. And it didn't sound very good. It actually caused me to bend some of the notes out of tune while I was playing because I was applying too much pressure while I was fretting. And it also had my hand tense up when I was playing because this position is just not comfortable to play in. So something that you could do to change this habit is simply adjusting your thumb to the very back side of your neck. So what I like to do is just make a thumbs up and then place it in the dead center of my neck and then turn my hand forward. And now I have much more leverage over my guitar neck versus when I had my thumb over before. This position is just not comfortable and I can feel my fretting hand tightening up. So put your thumb right directly on the back here, and then you're going to have a much easier position to play in. Now let's run through that same scale again. That was much easier. Now here's an exercise that you can use to get used to this thumb positioning. So what I want you to do is run through the A minor pentatonic scale with me along to a metronome, but have your thumb in that position the whole time so that you can get used to it. So we're going to be playing 5, 8 on the low E string from our first finger to our pinky, 5, 7 on the A string. Then we're going to be playing 5, 7 on the D, and then we're playing 5, 7 over here on the G, and that's always from my first finger to my third finger. Then we're playing 5, 8 on the B from my first to my fourth finger, and then 5 to 8 on the high E with my first to my fourth finger. And then we can run back down that scale. And as you notice, my thumb is behind the neck the entire time in that positioning. It's not curled over. This is very uncomfortable. We're just keeping it right behind the neck. And we're not having any tension in our hand, and we're keeping it nice and relaxed. And finally, bad habit number 5, neglecting your pinky finger. I see so many players do it. Even I did it for a while. I thought that I could just use my first 3 fingers and completely neglect this finger. But when I decided to stop doing that, it helped my playing improve so much. But it's difficult in the beginning. Your fingers don't want to cooperate with you, and that's why we have to get them in shape so that you can use it. A really simple exercise that you could do to help strengthen your pinky finger is to do some trills with it. So we're going to start out on the 5th fret of the high E string, and then I'm going to do a hammer-on pull-off from my first finger to my pinky on the 8th fret of the high E string, and then I'm going to pull off back to that 5th fret. But for trills, we're doing continuous hammer-on pull-off, so I'm just going to do as many as I can. And as you do this, you're gonna feel your pinky finger working. It might feel difficult in the beginning, but do as many as you can. Set a timer for a minute. And if you feel really confident, try setting it for 2 minutes and go on and do this exercise. Trust me, you're gonna be tired afterwards, but after practicing this consistently, you're gonna see a great improvement in your pinky strength. Now this exercise will ring out a little bit better with some overdrive on it, but right now I'm playing cleanly. And you can still hear it ringing out some. So I want that to be your goal. Make sure you can hear those notes ring out and you're really pulling off with this. This is a tool that every guitarist needs. Imagine being able to solo over any song that you want, knowing exactly what key it's in and knowing exactly which notes to play. It's a complete game changer. Check it out here or click the link in the description to claim your free copy. Thanks for hanging out with me, guitarists. I had fun with you today, and I can't wait to see what you're gonna do with these exercises. I'll see you next time.